Right. Let's move on, should we, to the search for missing British teenager Jay Slater. It's now in its 6th day in Tenerife.
Yes, police on the island say their search will now focus on a rural village and valley after the 19-year-old went missing on his first holiday ever without his parents.
Let's talk to a former police officer, Oliver Laurence, who joins us now. Oliver, where do they even go at this point to continue this search? Because I hate to say it, but it's really not looking good at the moment, 6 days in.
Yeah, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Anne. You know, any search and rescue operation which enters a lengthy period of time, as you say, we're into day 6. There are obviously greater concerns held for the welfare of Mr. Slater, who's been missing since early Monday morning when he messaged a friend to advise that he only had 1% of battery, was lost in the mountains, which is an incredibly vast area, and needed water. So we know the circumstances under which he went missing weren't brilliant at all in terms of him needing water, and was probably getting tired and disorientated and got lost. So this is a vast area that local police are searching. There has been some early criticism of their communication with the family and the efforts they're putting into certain areas. And obviously we know, as of in the last 48 hours, Lancashire Police have reached out to local authorities to provide some level of assistance. That assistance has been turned down at the moment, and the search continues. But as this goes on, obviously the concerns begin to grow as to the welfare of Mr. Slater.
I mean, is there any implied criticism then of the police on Tenerife, or do they just feel justified in saying, no, look, we've got everybody on it and we're coping?
I think every police service deserves the right to assess a situation in their own right. They believe they've got the resources to carry out this search and rescue operation. It is an incredibly vast area which needs to ultimately be grid searched very painstakingly during daylight hours, because after night you're going to miss things. Obviously, they're using helicopters and dogs and resources that we've seen been used in other search and rescue operations in the last few weeks overseas with other cases. But these are very protracted investigations. Obviously, what doesn't help is the size and scale of the area. An 11-hour walk Mr. Slater was looking at, and to get disorientated in such a complex area means the task is even greatly difficult for police to try and identify where he is, with so many areas where he could be, potentially sitting there waiting for support.
Is now the right time to be looking at what on earth he was doing there, or does that need to be left for now until something is discovered?
So I think there'll be 2 phases to this, Steve, and there will certainly be an investigation going on in the background in trying to identify what was he doing leading up to his disappearance, the people that he was with. Obviously, 2 British expats who've travelled back to the UK were interviewed by local authorities. So obviously the story and the picture of developing of him being at this event over the weekend, that story has been developed. And obviously at the moment, the hypothesis that the police appear to be working with is that he's trying to obviously navigate his way back home and has got disorientated en route. But obviously, you know, the police will be keeping all their options open. But at this stage, I think it's a search and rescue operation. Hopefully, Mr. Slater is found alive and well. But as you say, Stephen, as the days go on, one has to consider whether this becomes a recovery operation.
Unless something happened. I mean, where he was last seen, or one of the last sightings, was where he was meeting up with 2 other, I think, British men. We don't know what happened consequently after that, do we? So, I mean, there still could be a chance that he's alive somewhere.
Yeah, very much so. You know, there's been some incredible stories over the years of people's resilience being out in the open air in the evening. It does cool down during the nighttime, but that can provide challenges if you're not hydrated. But he is a fit and young, healthy young man, obviously an apprentice bricklayer. So he's going to be fit and healthy, but still there's some challenges out in the environment. So, you know, his parents and his mother has pulled away from helping with the search. She's obviously incredibly concerned herself and terrified, and our thoughts are with her at this moment, because it will be a very, very difficult time for the family to navigate. But hopefully, in the coming hours and days, the police will be able to provide us more information and find Mr. Slater alive and well.
Well, let's hope so. Oliver, good to see you. Thank you.